Hi, I'm Alice and I'm one of the cello teachers for Thames. In this lesson, we're going to be warming up with the D major scale and then learning lightly row from the initial grade exam book. Before we get started, you might want to use the tuning video to check that your cello is in tune, and if you're not too sure how to play your D major scale, then you can watch the previous video to learn this. You might also want to check that your bow hold is correct by using the previous video. Let's jump right in with our D major scale. We're going to play it in a round straight away, which means that one part is going to start and then the next part is going to start a little bit afterwards. You can choose which part you want to play along with, and at the end you might want to rewind it so that you can swap and play the other part. Remember, it might be easier to hear it if you have headphones in. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first two bars of Lightly Row use the same rhythm that we just used to play our D major scale. In the first bar, you might notice that you need to cross from the A string to the D string. Instead of playing the notes that are written, we're just going to play open A to open D using the rhythm that's written. It will sound like this. When we're doing that, we're going to really concentrate on making sure that our bow is crossing over onto the D string really cleanly without hitting any other strings on its way. I'm going to play it and then I would like you to play it back. Now let's try it using our third finger. Before we start playing the open A string, you can already prepare your third finger on the D string and then just make sure that none of your fingers are touching the A string. This means that your third finger should hopefully be in tune when you get onto the D string. Let's try it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now let's have a look at the next bar. Remember, we're going to be using our fourth finger and then changing to our first finger. We're also going to start on an up bow. I'll play it first and then you can play it back. Let's try and put those two bars together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, you can pause the video at any time and go over any of these sections that you would like to spend a little bit more time on. In bars 5 and 6, we're going to be using the notes from our D major scale, starting on open D all the way up to open A. Let's try that together. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you might recognise in bar 6 that the rhythm is the same as the first two bars of the piece, which we've already linked to our warm-up. So let's play bar 6 using the same rhythm that we used in our D major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try and play from the beginning all the way up to the end of bar 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you would like to spend more time on those 4 bars, now would be a good time to pause the video and do so. Bars 7 and 8 are the same as the first 2 bars that we have in the piece. Let's try and play them again together. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in bar 9, you might have spotted that instead of having the notes of the scale, we have the notes of the arpeggio. This means that we are going to skip every other note. So instead of playing D, 1, 3, and 4, we're just going to be playing D, 3, and then skipping our 4th finger and going straight up to open A. So our 9 is going to sound like this. Let's try that together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you might have noticed that when I play the open A, I still have my 3rd finger waiting above the D string. That's because I've had a look at what comes in bar 10 and I know that we need to go back to D3. So I'm just going to leave it there so that I know that bar 10 is going to be really in tune. Let's try and play bars 9 and 10 together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, let's try that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think now we can try and play from the beginning all the way up to there. Remember to get your 3rd finger ready on the D string before you start so that you know it's going to sound really in tune. 1, 2, 3, 4. In bar 11, it's marked piano, so we need to make sure that we're playing really quietly. You can see in bars 11 and 12 that we are using notes from our D major scale again, so we're going to start with our 1st finger on the D string and eventually work our way up to the 4th finger. Bars 11 and 12 are going to sound like this. Let's try and play that together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the next 2 bars are slightly louder. They're marked Mezzo Piano, and we're going to be starting with our 3rd finger on the D string and using the same pattern, working our way up to open A, so it will sound like this. Let's try that together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try and do from bar 11 to the end of bar 14. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that one more time and really pay attention to the dynamics, so making sure that we start nice and quietly and gradually getting a bit louder. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the last 4 bars in the piece are bars that we've already learned. Let's see if we can play from bar 15 to the end together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try and do it the whole way through with the accompaniment. 1, 2, 3, 4. rewind the video and go back over those sections again, then you can always come back and perform it one more time. Please join me in the next lesson where we will explore more cello repertoire.